Exciting time of year, obviously. Looking forward to start of the season. Just I think no different than all the teams around the country. Just very eager to get going after preseason and regular season beginning Monday night.
How do you try and talk to the guys about finding that balance between playing with emotion but also trying to keep it in check too for the first game?
Yeah, actually I've been thinking about that a lot because I'm hopeful next year that we can do exhibition game or charity exhibition, whatever you call it, as opposed to these scrimmages where no one's in the building. So we know there'll be great energy Monday night in the building. Our guys will be excited. And to be quite honest with you, I don't think it matters if you're a six-year senior like C.J. Walker or you're a freshman like Tybo Bailey or Reed Kaysen or LaDante Felton. I think there's an energy and an excitement to the start of the season. And I think R.J., C.J., our older players, our vets will feel it. And I think the young guys will. So I think that's a good thing, though. That's kind of those butterflies that you want in sports and competition. But I'm hopeful next year to be able to play a game earlier in the season, maybe in October, where they get a chance to get in front of fans, whether it's at home or on the road. I think that's a good thing. So, yeah, I'm sure we'll have to temper some of those emotions and energy early in the game.
How have you seen your guys come together from the start of the semester to now?
I love this team. I love this team. We love practice every day, the way this team competes every day in practice, the way they go at it from a physical standpoint, but then this team is very tight off the court, and I think that's a big part of when you talk about the team coming in together is the way they spend time with each other off the court, the amount of the way they are just connected as a group on and off the court. So we love this team, and that's really shown in practice.
How are you seeing the new guys buy into the culture?
That's probably been one of the most exciting things about it. As much as the returners, the RJs and Cams, embrace those guys, and as they came in, those guys stepping right in and putting 2 feet into the way we want to do things and buying into saying, hey, this is what we do at ECU, whether it's offensively, defensively, off the court, culture, so to speak. But the new guys have really put 2 feet in and have been. That's why we talk about one ECU, because that's really what those new guys have done, and that's helped us be a connected group.
What boxes do you want to see your guys check come Monday night against NC Wesleyan?
Do what we practice, do what we've been practicing. There's certain identity points that we really want to have that will continue to grow as the season goes on. It doesn't matter whether it's November, December, February, March, it doesn't make a difference. But the ones right now are defensive pressure and our defensive rebounding, and on the offensive side of the ball, we want to take care of the basketball and offensive rebound. Really, those are 4 areas. Again, there's so much to it, but those are really 4 big areas that we focused on in the preseason.
You mentioned the defensive pressure. How do you feel like those new guys and the length they kind of bring has kind of added to that in practice?
I think they've made us a lot better at it. I think in year 3 here, I think we have a team that looks the way we've envisioned as a coaching staff in terms of long, athletic, strong wings, big guards, and versatile forwards. And when you think about some of the guys, and I'm so excited for Pirate Nation to get to see our new guys and meet the new guys and get a chance to know this team. But from a physical standpoint, from an athletic standpoint, it really it plays into the way we want to play defensively.
How has RJ continued to grow as a leader coming into this year?
Well, his leadership is always been there, especially in the locker room. We've talked about it a lot right here and after games and whatnot. He's always been a great leader in the locker room. He's been a great leader on the court with his guys because he cares so much about his teammates. What he's physically doing right now is the ball's in his hands more as a guard. He's leading the break in transition at times. He's playing off of ball screens more. He's making decisions in transition. And I think he's even played some backup point for us in terms of different lineups that we've had through the preseason. So I think when you combine what he's done, what he's poured into ECU in his 3 years so far, the way he is in the locker room, and now he's playing sometimes with the ball in his hands more, directing the offense, making sure we're doing what we're doing. I think it's just a natural leadership growth for him.
Speaking of RJ, what's it like having another Felton on the team, and how much of an impact is he going to have this year?
You know what? First part is great because, again, we always talk about brotherhood in basketball. You talk about guys putting their arms around guys, and we're a family. That's what everyone talks about in sports. Well, we get to kind of see it firsthand here because we literally have a family member on the team, and RJ does a phenomenal job, like he does with all his teammates, putting his arm around LaDante, helping him get through typical freshman issues that all freshmen would go through. The next part of it is LaDante and RJ are 2 totally different players. And, and RJ does what he does. LaDante is a freshman that's learning. He's growing. He's gotten so much better since he's been here. From a standpoint of impact LaDante has, I think the redshirt thing is a very real possibility. And again, it's more because of what freshmen and the climate of college athletics right now, when you talk about an older team, we finally have that older team now. All those years those first 2 years, we look at the rosters of the other teams, redshirt senior, redshirt junior, fifth year senior. We see that all the time. Well, now we got a few of those guys. And that's what we've been trying to build, and we have an older team. So freshmen will have to grow in that, and Ladante is no different.
I know you don't put too much of an emphasis on the starting five, but I don't know, have you thought about how you will handle that, and I don't know, any hints you can give us?
No, you know what? I told the guys this. In our opinion, we think we have 9 guys that are capable that we could throw out with the combination. We'll obviously have a rotation. You're only allowed to start 5 at a time. I'm not someone that wants to change the lineup a bunch if we don't have to. There'll be adjustments that happen. But we have a rotation, and that rotation, but again, I look at it like we have 9 guys that are capable of being in that starting lineup.
And then with Wesleyan, you know, perhaps a smaller team, how do you try to handle that as far as, do you look at playing CJ at 5, depending on what happens? I guess it kind of depends on game plan.
Yeah, I think, we've talked about this before, Steve. We're going to make necessary adjustments as the game goes. That's normal. But we're going to go into it doing what we do. And have to make those adjustments. Look, Coach Thompson is a really great coach. He's been there a long time. They're a team. They're a downhill driving team. We know they're going to drive the basketball. They want to throw the ball inside. There's a lot of old North Carolina influence behind what Coach Thompson does. So we're going to have to adjust to that, to the speed and the attacking downhill. And again, with our rotation and with the guys on the bench, we're going to have to make those adjustments. So we got to be us. We're still going into. We have 2 more practices leading into the game. And we got to make sure that our identity is right.
You have new guys coming in, but they bring experience. How important is that?
Experience is everything in college basketball right now, and I've said this many times. With the 4 transfers that we have, true transfers out of the portal, and the 2 junior college transfers that we have, they've all been really well coached before they got here. All the Division I programs that the 4 transfers came from, so much respect for those programs and the coaches that gave them great fundamentals and foundation. And then the 2 junior college players, the same thing. Those 2 guys, Jay Shane and Trevion, coming in. So that experience is really vital right now, because a lot of time you're trying to put a lot of work into a short time. You get a player and you get 1 off season with them. Hopefully you get 2 or 3, but the way it worked with this team, 9 new players, 3 freshmen, 6 transfers, 4 Division I transfers, 2 junior college. So the experience and the coaching those guys had coming in definitely is beneficial.
What are the advantages and disadvantages of starting the season with a Division III team?
I don't look at it like that one bit. It's that North Carolina Wesleyan is our opponent Monday night. There is 0 advantage or disadvantage. That's who we got to go play, and we're approaching it the same way we'll approach every single game on the year.
As far as characteristics of this team, what should fans expect when they come in Monday night?
A hard-playing team that's going to pressure the ball on defense, that we're going to play a faster tempo this year on offense. I know we've done it at times in our first 2 seasons, but I know this, the fans should know this is going to be a highly competitive, physical, defensive pressure team, and then we'll see where that leads to.
What do you know now in year 3 that you wish you knew in year 1?
What the rules were going to be in college basketball when I got this job 2 years ago, in terms of the transfer portal and NIL, and how all that has played into the way you have to try and build a team. Again, I say this many times, in recruiting, you're doing 2 to 3 years of recruiting now in 2 months, 2 to 3 months. And if I had known that 2 years ago, maybe our approach right when we got here could have been a little bit different. We really tried to attack in-state recruiting, high school recruiting, retention. Retention will never change. Bringing North Carolina players here and students here will never change, but the way you go about it and the way you have to do that intel and homework from the months of March to June is totally different than it was 2 years ago. So obviously, if I could have, jump in that DeLorean and jump back and go back 2 years and I'd probably have made that adjustment. But I did say this, and you guys can look at, I said we'll make the adjustments if we have to as the portal changes and transfer and all these NCAA rules change, because it was the beginning of it. We said if we got to adjust, we will, and we've made that adjustment.
Anything else?
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask about your Dodgers. What's this week been like celebrating them?
What happened?
I
Yeah,
guess gotta ask your players, right?
it worked out perfect yesterday. The Dodgers win the World Series. That's exciting. We got a great group of New York guys. We love New York City here, but it worked out perfect with Halloween, the Dodgers winning the last day of October, but it's basketball season now.